Lots more kids.
5.
There's 5, but now we can see your
Are we gonna
shitty
turn off the
dick.
lights?
Damn it.
At least
Glad-
you hadn't sat down yet.
I'm glad I remember.
I'm glad you remembered.
I definitely didn't.
And we don't have any music on, or... it's same... There's another switch there. Got it. Yeah, looks good. We cut off part of his head. We need to move it up a little bit.
That might be.
No, we need to... I don't know what happened there.
It's my tall forehead. I'm sorry.
I mean, a 9 head.
It's an 8 head, actually.
Alright, we should be good there. I think we're good. We made it.
Now my knees hurt.
We made
Join
it.
the club.
Oh, but don't worry. According to the VA, I've just got runners.
Are we
What
recording
the hell?
now?
Yeah, what's runners mean?
Oh. And we're back.
we never started.
We never,
We never
It's
stopped.
gonna happen.
Hi, Toby. Hey guys, this is Name Pending.
This is Name Pending.
I'm Keeper.
I'm Mike Culberson.
We got Eddie with us.
We've got...
Jason.
Jason.
I was going to call him Kyle
Timmy?
this time.
It's Nick.
It's Nick. We got Nick, my brother-in-law. He's with us. All hanging out. We got, 2 first responders, and
We got our
Us?
bevy of furry co-hosts.
we got our furry co-host. We got
Cabo,
Toby.
Pearl, October, the piece of shit, and Bo Duke.
Bo Duke. Bo.
Did you want one?
Oh, I'm good.
What brand of knife is that?
Buck.
No, can I see it after you're done with it?
No, I'm about to get stabbed.
Oh, okay.
Keeper,
Yeah.
as always, prone to getting sliced and diced.
Anytime I hold
So-
a knife, I cut myself.
So going back to our first conversation,
Alcohol?
I don't think
Any whiskey?
I don't think I've had a proper old fashioned then. Probably what.
Oh yeah, we were
the
talking
issue
about
was.
how you don't like old fashioned.
I'm not the biggest fan yet. I say yet because there's always possibilities for more, But this is very nice.
That's not a knife. No, that's
And
not.
I'm thinking about replacing it with another one
Really?
because Les Stroud has his own knife brand. And it's got a solid wood handle. It's very well made steel.
Survivor Man.
Well,
Yeah.
we know you like your
He's
wood.
like the real deal, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's not like Bear Grylls. No offense, Bear Grylls.
Oh, no, I'm down to offend Bear Grylls.
You're worried
But-
about offending someone?
It'd be funny though if you just watched the podcast.
Well,
Eh.
weirder things have happened.
Weird.
Like you showing up today.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. Forgot about it.
Oh, big surprise.
100% I forgot about it.
See, why is my head getting cut off?
See?
These were definitely set correctly.
I was going to say something, but you were like mid-intro.
Mm. Up a little bit more.
It's too high.
Okay, that looks good.
You need to redo the whole thing or what?
No.
But no,
We're good.
because really our intro is done on the middle camera.
And all these other ones are us just...
Individually speaking and bullshitting and existing.
Just like the rest of us.
existing. Well, you know what? We made it here. One way or the
We
other.
made it here.
I'm totally drinking a girly drink.
I'm drinking a girly drink too.
I'm past my time of caring about drinking girly drinks.
You said your dad wasn't a fan of scotch?
Who?
He had not found a scotch that he liked. Right?
Okay.
And so I did some, he's a rum guy. He's really a rum guy.
That's a big
So I
difference.
did some research and I found a scotch that was aged in rum barrels.
Rum.
And I brought it. And he goes, man, how much did it cost? And I was like, this is like a $60 bottle, right? And he's like, whoa, are you sure? And I was like, that's when the realization hit me that my dad had been buying low shelf,
He's been buying
Scotch,
bottom shelf
yes.
alcohol.
That's a big deal, man.
not realizing how vast of it, like he's buying the $30
Yeah.
or maybe $40 tops,
Yeah.
not realizing that you go another $10,
It's a big difference.
$20, and there's
And it
this
changes the
huge
world.
difference.
Massive difference.
Well, that's the way I feel about vodka. The one we got in here, it's like
Yeah.
a $80 bottle.
Well, you got me into gin.
Gin's good. You
Gin-
get some good gins.
Gin's-
Again, you
some
pass the
good gin?
threshold.
Yeah.
it's really good.
Like Ryan Reynolds actually pushed his aviation, and that one's your good medium grade gin.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's not
your
top of the
default
line.
to mixing it in with whatever.
But it's really good.
Yeah, gin isn't bad. Gin isn't bad.
You asked about cigars. There's a cigar there. I'm not gonna smoke.
It's not gonna go with my girl drink right now. It's gonna clash with cranberry hard.
Well,
I don't worry about that.
I don't either. We do have other whiskeys though. Once you're done with your girly drink, because you're
Just to
already
balance out.
crawling home.
My second one. Yes, I petted you.
So book talk.
Book talk. Yeah, boy.
Because I know my brother-in-law has been listening to an audiobook.
A couple.
See,
So right now,
I
am
did start the Will White
Will White
Sea of Shadows.
of Sea of Shadow
Of Sea and
of
Shadow.
Shadow and
Of
Sea.
Shadow and Sea. Well, there's two.
Yeah, of
And-
Shadow and Sea, and then of Sea and Shadow.
Yeah. Like,
It's not confusing at all.
well,
That's
what's
very
even more
confusing.
confusing is they run alongside each other.
Concurrently?
Yes, they're
Yes.
both book ones.
That's weird.
Of different perspectives on the same story.
What's a brief synopsis if you could describe it?
I'm at chapter 2. Calm down.
Okay.
You know what you could do
Watch
is you
us.
could watch our podcast where we did release a book talk talking about this.
Okay. That makes sense.
But I just need to get my short, 10 seconds of I started doing things before Mike jumps into 27 books and it's Thursday.
Do you
Well-
read a lot, Mike? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is that like your thing?
Yeah, I have stated it before and I'll state it again that if I had to give up every form of entertainment but one, I would keep reading. Like hands down, like no more video games, no more TV, no
Keep
more
reading. Computer, everything gone.
just
Wh-
books.
What is your main genre of focus?
Fantasy and sci-fi.
Okay.
But
Paperback.
I delve into mystery. I do horror. I do a little bit of everything off to the side, but primarily fantasy and sci-fi.
Okay.
It's a pretty
I
good combo.
did not have a follow-up question.
Oh, I was
there was
expecting
no,
it.
there was
Yeah, I
no.
thought that there was more coming.
No, I was gonna. Yeah, that
It's
was,
okay. I need
that
to
was
speak
fine.
up.
Hi, Toby.
Ah.
Are you?
So this week I've gone back to my roots.
Ooh,
of-
a recycle bin one.
No, I've never read this one before.
Ooh.
It's my roots in a genre that I used to read a ton when I was a kid, and I kind of fell off as an adult. Right?
Spicy romance.
Battlestar Galactica.
That would be sci-fi.
I know, that's a good
Spicy
series.
romance.
No, it's Western.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, you hate your cowboy phase.
I
again.
hit my cowboy phase. Yeah.
Oh.
As,
Hey.
as Rob would
310
say.
to Yuma.
So this one is Louis Lamar, which if y'all don't know, Louis Lamar is a huge Western writer. He writes other stuff, but he's a big time Western.
Name sounds
He's
very
the
familiar.
cowboy writer.
And this one is called To Tame a Land, and it starts off, obviously in the West on the cattle trail, people driving west to settle west, and a kid and his father fall behind the wagon train. And they're trying to catch up on the trail, and
Don't get left behind.
they get
Yep.
jumped by Indians.
Yep.
This damn people.
And so the father gets killed. The son back trails the Indians and kills like 2 of them,
Dang.
and then escapes.
Oh, geez.
How old is the son?
Old enough to know
4.
better.
He's 4 years old.
14.
Okay,
Oh,
so
man, yeah,
around
yeah.
pre-adult.
What year was this set in?
It's the Western.
16,
Trail
17,
driving.
18. No, 18 something.
It's honestly the Western period was during the 1900s.
Yeah, it was during
Yeah.
the 1900s.
It went
18,
1880
yeah.
to like 1920.
Yeah, your last major bank robbery and train robbery was like 1930s or 20s.
That's for strong. Not strong boxes. Is that what they're called? Strong boxes?
What, safes?
No, it was before safes. Like banks, like Wells Fargo back in the day, would have. That's where the term riding shotgun came from, right? You would have the guy. You would shotgun with a.
Yeah.
I think it was called a a strong box is where they used to put the money in, and it was like basically a fortified safe they would have in the wagon.
You can be my strong box.
But before
Daddy cop.
before we devolve too far,
We're devolving already.
yeah, we're already devolving. So it's following
It's Western
this,
kids
yeah,
avenging his parent.
and he avenges his father. He runs into this gentleman on the trail who starts teaching him about, essentially living in the wilderness.
But he never makes it back to his people.
He makes it back to him, but there's a falling out with the trail boss and stuff like that. And, I'm not trying to ruin everything, right? But
Yeah, read the book.
and realistically, these are not like the books I normally read. Like
No, normally it's sci-fi.
Normally like sci-fi.
well, no,
Battlestar
that's not what I'm saying.
Galactica.
Is I normally won't read a book that's under 300 pages.
Oh,
You
this is
will
very
not
small
read a
book.
book.
This is about 150
You're
pages.
really saying
Wow.
great roots. Okay. You really diving to your beginning.
It's
of
like reading
time.
Rainbow over here. Dang.
But this is what I love about his writing style and a lot of these Western writing styles is they're able to include so much depth and so much character progression in such a short span of time.
Yeah, they're good at the delivery and the overall breakdown of the story very well.
That makes one of us.
But anyways, yeah, I would actually absolutely suggest this book. But in general, I would suggest damn near any Lewis Lamar Western novel that
To
you
get
pick
you
up.
started into
It's
reading.
going to be really good.
Lewis
Right.
Lamar.
What have you been reading?
I've been doing kind of I don't want to call it nostalgia kick, but a lot of movies that I watched, I never read the books for them. So, like mid-20s at the time, I'm finally read the Harry Potter books. Never did that before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all my friends growing up, they all read the books when they came out, saw the movies, hated the movies. I was like, well, I want to enjoy both.
Now,
So
now here's the thing: is I'm sure that there are people out there who haven't read the Harry Potter books. So can you do a brief synopsis of the Harry Potter book?
There
Oh,
you
this was
go.
years ago, but it was, everybody always says the book is better than the movie, and that's definitely the case. There's so many characters left out, so many side plots and things, and it was really great. I totally felt like a kid again reading them or listening to them. I did the audiobooks because
That's still reading.
I got like a
We
million
still
kids.
count that.
So it was great, because I got to enjoy both, and everybody knew, like I said, they picked on the movie, and looking back, I see why. So I'm kind of glad I waited. But if you've never done it before, it's totally worth it.
That's good, Nick.
Yes.
That's good.
Abrupt stop here.
Eddie, have you?
At work, I would do a ton of audiobooks, and I have not done a good book in probably about 2 months. Been a minute.
Yeah.
Been a minute.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
I think laziness is my key thing right now. Laziness is kind of something I'm really kind of fell into right now. I hit it hard like a few months ago with the whole working out, reading, everything under the sun. And I think over the past 2 months, I've been kind of in a funk that I'm currently navigating through.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we all hit that at some point, but we're men, and so we just quietly
Yeah.
Suck it up.
Yeah, you kind of suck
suck
it up.
and
Yeah.
keep driving on and
Yeah.
Which, by the way, reach out to someone. Reach out to your friends. Reach out to your
Yeah.
buddies.
have friends.
Have friends. That's a big one. But reach out. Check on your people. Don't let them disappear on you.
And especially in this day and age, because I feel like a lot of people have fallen into a habit of, well, I could just text. Well, I don't want you to call me. Don't call me. Just text me. And what a lot of people I feel like they miss out on.
The emotional connection is
Well, and there's, I talked to a gentleman at work one time years ago, and he was saying, "Oh, I don't like to talk to people on the phone. I only text." And I was like, he's like, "There's a couple of people who insist on calling me." And I was like, "Well, the thing is that when I call people and I have actual conversations, I'm
Yeah.
building on that relationship. I'm seeing how they're doing. We communicate so much more, and there's so much more inflection and everything." And he goes, now that you mention it,
You're right.
he's like, those who I actually get on the phone with, I feel a deeper connection to.
Yep.
Well, you also got, if someone's not fine and you're only communicating through text,
Yeah,
they have all this time to rehearse and
definitely tell
draft the
tone of
perfect
voice.
response. If you get them on the phone, you get the most candid, honest response because it's an unrehearsed thing. It's generic. It's
Oh.
genuine.
It depends, because then you get people like me, and half the time Mike's like, "Oh, it sounds like you're just trying to get me off the phone." And it's like, Nope. I just suck at talking on the phone.
He does too, and it's
True,
like
you're pretty bad.
very short, very clipped, and I'm like,
Almost like he's rushing you off the phone.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
rushing you off the phone.
I mean, I'm pretty good at seeing like social cues,
And he's
But
even
just
in
like-
voice.
It's pretty funny because I'll be like, "We'll hop on Discord," and then we hop on Discord and
We talk
we talk.
the whole time.
But I am bad at talking on the phone
Why do you think that is?
because I can't see you. If I can have a visual cue, so on Discord we started using cameras and it
Yeah.
changed the way we talk.
Yeah, we actually like really communicate. It's not just dead silence, and then I'm trying to talk to people and no one's talking back to
It's
me.
like, "Hey, where'd you put the tool for this?" Or, "Oh, how do I do this?" Or, "Where's this?" It's now we're having real dialogue when we talk because we can see each other.
Definitely
That's a
some
human
substance
element
there.
to it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's more human.
Yeah.
There's a plane. Calm down. I appreciate you sniffing though. We're safe.
Did he try that scotch that I brought,
I don't even think it's open.
or the bourbon that I brought?
Was it the Glenfiddich?
No.
You
No.
have Glenfiddich?
Did I leave that Glenfiddich here?
I don't think so.
Okay.
What year is it?
I don't remember what's up there.
I don't remember. I bought a bourbon and I brought it today and I forgot what the name of it was.
I have like brain
know
fog.
Woodfire?
bad.
I know it's a good bourbon. I just can't remember the name right
The
now.
Woodfire?
No, Woodford Reserve, not Woodfire.
I had the Woodfire.
Woodford's. I'm not really a fan of Woodford's Reserve.
That's the one. I will make a Jack and Coke with that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
I get
use that as my low end Jack and Coke. It's good for some of your other whiskey blenders mixes, but
I can't do whiskey Coke anymore.
Really?
No, ever since because that's all I drank
It's
while I
ruined
was
it.
in the army. It's like lived in my brain for so long, so it's like now that I smell it, I get
It-
like flashbacks.
see, I get like a black tar taste in the back of my throat.
So, Nick, you were a firefighter
Yeah.
in Tennessee. Where and how long?
Actually, I was
In
Air Force.
Alaska, right?
Yeah, a couple places. Air Force firefighter.
Oh, so this is Air Force.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit cooler than cop.
It does
A
sound
little bit,
pretty,
you know.
pretty fun. What it like? How long were you in?
It's just one contract. It was 6 years,
Okay.
but it's cool. You know, first base was up in Alaska. So a lot of unique things up there. You
Yeah.
know, all the
Moses Freeze,
ice and darkness and
Yeah.
everything that goes with
bad
that.
time.
But it was a good job and went to like dramatic pause.
Yeah, when I saw you at the Bible study, I saw your thin red line shirt. Like,
Yeah, I got another first responder. I'm not
Well-
the only gay one here.
well, no, because you know, it's some. I think with first responders, people that put like,
You have more
I've
of a
never
connection.
met a serious cop put a thin blue line flag on their car. Does that make sense? And I'm gonna preface with this. A lot of the people that I've pulled over that have thin blue line cops
Get me out of a ticket.
are it's to get out of ticket. It's a get out of ticket pass.
On the
Yeah.
back of my bike,
I don't want
had-
anyone to know that I'm a cop. Like,
I
it's the
had-
last thing that I want anyone to know about me, especially when I'm driving around.
Only gay
It's one of
cops
those
pull me
things, you know?
over.
Yeah.
Everybody films cops doing all kinds of things, but as a firefighter, you go in, you
Everybody
soak
loves
and
you.
you
Oh.
ruin grandma's couch, and they
People
thank you
love
for it.
Yeah, they love you.
So-
They love you guys.
Fucking piece of shit firefighter. Fucking hate you guys. I could definitely vouch for that since I got a cousin and an uncle who were both firefighters.
Well, no. There's some shitty firefighters. Though.
There are definitely
I mean,
some
there's
shitty
some-
firefighters.
Yeah, like my
Cops,
cousin
too.
apparently.
Your
like
guys-
there's some shitty ass cops too. Like you go, I think they're.
but I
hand in
think
hand
there's
with
more
both
shitty
people.
cops being noticed than
Yeah,
firefighters.
yeah, because there's more. The
You're more in the
cameras,
limelight,
yeah,
yeah.
the camera's definitely on a spot with that. So,
I mean, you can speak up when you say yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
yeah, Dad.
I hear him like whispering over here, and I'm like,
He's afraid to speak up.
I think when it comes to
He was Air Force.
kick it in or I'll twist your nipple.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
I
I
think when
just
it,
start moving lower.
I think when it comes to first responders, and you know, I think the limelight definitely comes into us a
Fire
lot
trucks
more.
don't stop for red lights. Remember that.
They don't. They
Facts.
don't stop for red lights. Barrel through. Yeah, I think when it comes to,
Nipple. You said you're still gonna start moving down. Fire trucks don't stop for red lights.
Oh, okay.
you're gonna keep moving. It was a sexual related joke.
Okay.
You missed it over
It
your
was,
head.
it was a penis joke. Anyway, going back.
Quick. Everyone say penis.
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 Scrotum.
Okay.
That's
Pedro.
right. I said scrotum the other day, and she was like, "Why do you say that?" And I was like, "It's funny." She goes, "No, it's not."
Yeah,
I was like,
scrotum's got a
Scrotum?
good.
It does.
Good
This
man.
is
It
a
has
seriously underused word.
It is
Yeah,
an underused
yeah.
word. I call it.
I mean,
Right.
there's some words out there that just feel good coming off the tongue.
Moist.
Scrotum.
Moist.
Scrotum.
Moist. Yeah,
Moist.
moist.
I like that
Scrotum.
one. I really do.
Yeah.
And it bothers some people.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
Or
Debt free.
cockroach.
Yeah. Cockroach? I don't know if I feel the same with cockroach.
Never forgive student loans. I heard that bothers people.
Yeah,
it
that
rolls
bothers
off
people.
the tongue really well.
Take responsibility.
Zero.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa!
oh,
Stop that shit! All right.
How's y'all's week? How's y'all's day? What'd you guys do?
Oh, I got my truck towed yesterday.
What happened?
on purpose.
It
On purpose.
dropped into limp mode.
Not for any of the reasons
Was
you
your,
think it would
do
be.
you have DEF? No, you haven't. You guys had deleted, right?
No,
Yes,
I
he
was
has
still-
death fluid.
yeah, I've
You
got
have the
death.
fluid. Did the filter get clogged?
No, it wasn't. It
I told
wasn't.
you. Nothing you'd expect.
It was the EGR.
Really?
So I'd had an engine light, and it was popping hot for the EGR, and I'd lost some acceleration power, and I was like, okay, I know what's wrong. I just need the weekend to get here so I can take the time to pull it and clean it, because it took 4 or 5 hours total.
To change it, yeah.
Because and most of that was just soaking time.
Yeah. It was just the cleaning it out.
Yeah. And but apparently that's a big no-no for the truck, and when they go into limp mode for the Rams nowadays, they do it hard. It's
do.
not 35 miles, 45 miles. No, it's 10 miles.
Yeah. It's,
Your 1,000 RPM is like 550. Have
We
fun.
definitely had a few Dodge fire trucks that would go into limp mode, and we're just snail crawling.
And
we'd have to get a second vehicle to respond because there's no way this one's even making it there.
and this just goes into the evils of emissions control.
I hate him.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Let me
I-
do whatever I want to do with my car.
We
I
don't even
hate
enforce it.
them
Yeah.
moving.
I hope we never do that.
I hate them moving the goalposts. I hate them without it going through elected officials.
So pause right there. You saw Texas is getting rid of
Temporarily inspections.
Yes.
So that way we can add
Yes.
emissions testing.
Is that what it's for?
So we can add emissions testing. And in 2027, we're throwing what in here now? All the diesels,
Yeah.
all
the
your
diesel.
heavy diesels are now getting taxed heavier.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a heavy diesel? If
I
it's
just-
a farm truck, even if it's a work truck, boom, taxed more.
I just saw that Cummins took a deal from the Department of Energy. They took like a $1 billion pay incentive to develop electric motors for industrial applications.
Oh.
Cummins. That was from Cummins. That was a Cummins,
So I
Cummins
know
article.
what you're talking about. At least one of the articles I read, very similar. Might have not been the same, but the same way I have e-torque truck. And
What is
they're
it?
getting rid of, because we talked about it, they're getting rid of the alternator and throwing a electric motor in it. That way you get to the power faster, which has potential to help diesels start up. You don't have to wait for it to warm up.
You don't have to wait for it to warm up now. As a matter of fact, they
Oh.
tell you not to wait for your truck to warm up.
Well,
That it's actually bad for it now.
They
interesting.
tell you as with a diesel not to wait for your truck to warm up.
Yep.
Does that apply in cold climates? Because you guys got glow plugs. You don't have spark plugs.
I think they're using something on the newer diesels. I think they're using something other than glow plugs now.
Wow.
That's interesting. I'll have
That
to
is-
look into that.
Yeah.
Because it does. I was like, it specifically says it in the manual. You don't wait for it to warm up.
I know Dodge and Ram are specifically looking at every fine line they can touch as much as possible. Like they have a minivan with a Hellcat engine in it, a Elephant engine in there.
Yeah.
It's like, but they're looking at a very fine line of what they need to push for all this emissions and energy. It was like,
I mean-
okay, well, if I throw an electric motor in, does that help?
There is an idle shutdown in my truck.
Yep.
And I do not have the ability to turn this off.
Really?
And I desperately, if I could find some aftermarket way or something like that, because the thing is that like I travel with my dogs all the time. Well, I leave them in the truck and I lock the door. Well, now I've got to be back. I've got to make sure
In
I'm
10
back
minutes?
within 15 minutes,
15 minutes, yeah.
or else the truck's gonna shut off.
I have a
And then someone's gonna bust my window open.
I have a question. I remember when we talked about this last time, Mike, it was off camera because I mentioned to you a few aftermarket shops that work on specifically the Cummins and they can delete a lot within it.
Yeah.
You told me that you wanted to wait for your warranty to expire because I know once they dig into it, your warranties, they voids everything
Yeah.
about your warranty. Was that true? Right? Okay, so what? How many more miles do you have before your warranty goes out?
I think it's
I
already
think
out.
you
Oh,
just recently
Yeah, I think
went
I
out.
recently ran out.
okay.
Because your warranties
there's-
cover like your cold air,
But
your filters.
now I'm not sure if I want to do deletes because now we're doing the Texas emissions control shit, and
depending where it falls,
yeah, depending on where that falls in, I don't want
to have to re-put the stuff back in.
yeah, because that's gonna end up being very expensive.
Yeah.
And we're back.
All right. I think we're gonna take a short intermission.
Yeah, we're gonna take.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys in a few. I don't know if that. I don't know. All right.
What?
I don't know how you stopped it. Did you do it right? Yeah.
You hit the stop.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's too many steps.
Well, I don't know how all the thing record. Look, it took us all.
You sat here and figured it all out with me.
I told you, fog brain right now. I am so freaking out of it. Hey guys, we're back. We're
And we're back.
We're
we
back.
didn't say we're back, but we're just talking
we're
smack
fucking
to each other.
talking shit about Keeper and his fucked up fog brain. I need you to stop being a bitch and
be
start being a bro.
Brother.
Brother. Why have you been playing footsie with me? Like, I'm not
Because
opposed,
he's
Why
close
not?
to every.
but
I mean,
can you be sexier about it? Yeah, that's the stuff. Wow.
I have an erection.
he was wearing short shorts, and I figured I'd wear short shorts.
Whoa, I wish I wore shorter shorts. Fuck.
The appropriate thing to do.
Oh, freedom, brother.
I love how Edward takes these big,
Edward.
deep sighs like he's about to talk about some real fucking shit.
I think my favorite thing he does is someone will be saying something, he'll just go. He's like, "Did you want to say something?" It's like, no,
Oh, not at all. No.
Nothing, just lip smack it for no reason.
What's he gonna say? What's he gonna say? Never know.
So I have a question about Tennessee firefighters.
All right.
Is it like it is in Texas, where if you move to another city, you have to retrain again?
Yeah, so it depends. You know, like some departments have tougher standards than others. So you may have to go through their fire academy and then kind of start from zero. And others might be like, yeah, no, you're totally good. And you start from, wherever you're trained to.
Probably the same thing with police. How big municipalities have their own academies,
Yeah.
but the local PDs, local fire. If you go through a regional fire academy or regional police academy, it's the same cert.
Well, I mean, I talked to my cousin. He's like, if he wanted to go from Houston to San Antonio,
Redo.
redo.
Yeah.
If he wanted to go from Houston to Dallas, redo.
Yep.
And it's like,
Those are big cities, though.
bro, that's
major.
fucked up.
Yeah.
That is fucked
Yeah,
up. There
you're-
needs to be a standard.
So
Well, so,
Go
if I
ahead.
may,
No,
the
go
problem
ahead,
with
Nick.
that is
Go
that
ahead. You haven't
different
talked all
areas,
day.
they have like different issues. So you're not going to have crazy forest fires in Texas, right? As you might have in Washington.
Okay.
or
Yet.
in
So
Alaska.
I'm with
Yet.
you on state to state.
Yeah.
I'm with you on state to state. But inside the state, I should be able to go from one area to the other.
there's more than one way to skin a cat, and different people think their way is better than someone else. Same reasons why SEAL Team 6 doesn't train all the time with Delta, right? Because
Because
think
of the
whole-
rescue team.
they think because holding the weapon down when you clear a room or when you're at ready or up is going to make that big of a difference. Does that make sense? Like, it's a minor thing sometimes, but with big cities in particular, it really comes down to legalistic actions when it comes to the courtroom, when use of force comes into play. So let me explain.
Wait, so what you mean is every time you walk into a room, You shoot someone's dog and then shoot the person.
No, that's ATF.
That's
God damn it! I
ATF,
get it
that
all
is
mixed
ATF,
up.
yeah.
I get it all mixed up. My bad.
No, because some cities it sounds like they care more about, I don't know, drug policy or drinking policy.
Or use of force policy. It's
speeding,
like, hey,
or-
this
yeah.
this is Joe Smith. He came from Houston. He's now with San Antonio. He did use this amount of force on this subject, but he went through our city's police academy that's trained him to respond X, Y, and Z. So he followed all the proper protocol.
And it's
versus
fine because we like beating.
because we
here.
like, yeah. So versus, hey, this is John Smith from Houston. He hasn't come from San Antonio. He got into a use of force, and he did something that we never trained him on, so we can't take our liability from him. Does that make sense?
Okay, so essentially what it is that the courts and the lawyers have gone too far once again, and we need to fucking cut loose the bloodsuckers, get rid of a bunch of this liability bullshit.
Hey,
It's gonna fix much.
I'll give you an example, man. When I've gone through like trainings, when I train a new cop, my name is forever attached to him. So that cop 10
Here's
years from
Gio
now,
forever.
if for 10 years from now he does something, that court's gonna subpoena his training file. Call me or look at my training file
And
and, like,
see what you did
and
and
see
didn't
what I
teach
did
him.
and didn't teach him.
Well, I mean, the Air Force does have proper ladder training.
Well, that's the same way your scuba diving cert goes when you're master class. Same with parachute, your master class.
I'm
there.
sorry, ladder training.
Well, ladder training's dumb.
Same
I'm sorry, but that is not
Yes,
the same as
ladder
scoop.
lateral or
No, ladder.
ladder? I don't
Like-
know. I don't know the term.
Like
And the
your
ladder
normal
you
house
sit on.
ladder.
Okay.
You need training for it.
You gotta get trained and certified for that
That's-
before you can use that.
But I guess it's the same thing. Like, oh no, we trained you how to use it. So if you fuck up, then can I say that on the camera?
Yeah.
So if we fuck up and you hurt yourself and you try to sue us, we don't take responsibility because we didn't train you how to use it. Is that where are we tracking on the same page right now?
You just can't say sewer slide.
Sewer slides.
Sewer slide. Indians. So in regards to that's what I mean talking about the training. That's why it's so important with these big agencies.
So do you think that there is a better way to do this?
So yes, there's something called lateral transfers.
Yeah.
Right? In the police world, we'll use DPS as an example because it's a big state agency. DPS does what's called lateral transfers. Their normal police academy is about 6 to 8 months long. With their lateral transferring, it's about 6 to 8 weeks long. So all you're learning is their policies, their procedures, and their methods of operation when it comes to that particular agency. You're not having to learn all the laws, learn all the little basic piddly stuff that we all learn in the same academy. So if I was going to go with my 12 years of experience from my small city to DPS, all DPS, they'd take all my certs and they'd retrain me on their policies, their procedures, their legal practices, everything like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not everyone does that though. I don't know why. Not everyone does that. When it was a hard time finding a good cop, a lot of people were. San Antonio was. Houston was doing lateral. They're
You're
probably
talking
still
about
doing
the
lateral.
BLM time?
Yeah, they're still probably doing lateral. Austin was doing lateral.
See, I wish we could go to the old, like, the cops you used to see on Cops, like
that's gone
from the
forever.
90s,
Beat me
forever.
dead.
where they
Yeah.
would come in
It's
and they
live
would
PD
just
now.
beat the shit out of
Yeah,
someone
man.
with a nightstick.
Stop
Yeah,
resisting.
it's gone
They would
forever.
fucking spear someone into the ground.
Yeah, you're never gonna get that again. The only way that'll happen is
If we colonize Mars.
Or if we do a correction. Because what we're seeing in America right now is standard
Feelings.
practice for any any empire, right? Is that they get so overburdened
With feelings.
with bureaucracy and legislation and rules and everything else that they implode on themselves because of it.
what is that term? What's that old phrase? Hard times make strong men.
Mhm.
That we
Soft
said it.
times
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
soft times make.
I feel like we have to say this one every time we have a podcast.
It's true though. That it's a
It
cycle.
is very true.
Strong men build weak men. Weak men build politicians. Politicians build strong men. Because it just cycles.
Because they build hard times.
Because they build hard times.
And we're about to see some seriously hard times.
Like it's a
My-
cycle.
My
We're definitely in
my
the weak
great
man
grandfather what's that? Remember that older phrase? My great grandfather
Oh,
walked to school. My other grandfather like had a horse. You know what I mean?
There's a modern day one where specifically talking about the Middle East. It was like my granddad rode a horse. I drove a Civic. My kids will drive a Ferrari. His kids will drive a Civic. Their kids will drive a horse, and then it'll just repeat because you're so set in the mindset of, oh, it's given to me. It's given to me. You lose the want, the need. When people just don't care.
when you give it all, that's why whenever someone's like, "Oh, I got my kid a car," I'm like, "Why? Why did you get your kid a car?
What did they do to deserve the car, to earn the car?
Or why did you get them a new car? Why don't you get them like a $500 beater car?
What did they do to earn it?
Yeah,
I read this just this morning. It was like cows don't give milk. You have to get up early, 3 a.m. Get up there, and you have to do all these different steps. I don't know anything about agriculture, but you have to
Grow cows.
Yeah,
Grow cows.
grow cows, not bulls, cows.
You pull in.
Yes,
But grow cows.
there's a lot of prep work. You have to get up early and do work. It's not just like an automatic thing that just happens.
I love how he's like trying to describe it. He's like, "Nah, man, I'm so far removed from this."
I think there's a bucket involved somewhere.
I've got Cabo just like
Chilling.
sitting over here in the corner, just staring at me.
It's okay. This one doesn't want to go down.
Let's bring up what I told y'all about earlier.
Dogs.
Yeah, dogs and that study I was talking about.
Oh, the dopamine the dogs release.
Yeah, because, and I just saw a video on it, like a brief synopsis, but it was saying that, some folks got together and they started doing MRIs on dogs. They were doing a test where they held up one Q-tip covered in just some random person's sweat, and another Q-tip held up to their nose with their owner's sweat. And they were seeing what kind of brains their response had.
Brain activity based off
Yeah.
the smells.
And which for dogs is the most important. And whenever it was the owner, it went like
The brain
crazy
lit
with
up. Yep.
dopamine, and it like all the centers that involved affection and love and everything like that just fucking blew up. So essentially, anytime your dog is staring at you,
And smells you. And looks at you.
it's because they love you. And you know what? That is our positive message for the night.
Dogs are man's best friend.
Dogs truly are man's best friends. Dump your kids, send them to the orphanage, get a dog.
Get a dog.
There's not many orphanages out there.
I have a plan for that. Me and a friend put this together.
Oh dear God. I'm in danger.
We start an orphanage coal mine because we are going to teach these kids about how to be hardworking, contributing citizens
Sweat
to
equity.
society.
Sponsored by
Hi-ho.
Kingsford.
Hi ho. It's off to work. We
God.
go.
And you know what? The proceeds from the mine will be able to fund the orphanage.
What about their
as-
medical expenses?
Yeah.
Oh, I got black lung.
Yeah.
How
They're-
old are you? 7.
They're kids. They bounce back. I
I
mean,
feel like I'm 9.
you got to figure mines are like this high anyways, right?
That's
So now we don't
not
have
at all
old
true,
men
but
have to
yeah.
like crawl through there. No, we got kids. They're about that height anyways, right?
Your view of mines are completely wrong.
That's like Keebler Elf mine.
No, I'm dead serious. Have
They're
y'all?
not all that small.
But a lot of them are, especially the deeper they go.
A lot
Like
of
a
them are.
salt mine and like diamond
No,
mines are
like
huge.
coal mines, guys.
I mean, I've seen blood diamonds.
I've seen mines in West Virginia.
They're huge.
Like,
they're like
active.
they're big
Yes,
caverns. They're
they're-
huge.
They're
Have you been in
caverns.
them?
Yes, they're massive. We had a
Yeah.
school field trip there.
Yeah.
Cabo.
Did you have to
Oh.
check out tools?
We actually did check out tools and we mined some coal.
I want to
So
take the
talking about
kids.
sweat equity, they're already doing it.
Yeah.
School field trip.
It's for education.
Schools filters, I think.
Cabo,
much
lay
better.
down, boy. Sit.
You know what? We should teach them to, I don't know,
There we
go to the fields, pick barley and hay.
Yeah, pick cotton.
I wasn't going to say
Might,
it.
might as well.
No, I'm gonna fucking say it, bro.
I mean,
Although,
I picked cotton growing
honestly, cotton's not worth the same as it used
It
to be
used to be.
because of Russia.
Why Russia?
Ho ho! We want to
I'm
go
glad
on a
you brought
field
it up.
trip.
Here we go.
I
Special
would've
word of
brought
the
it
day.
Up to the cotton mines we go.
up. Cotton mines.
Cotton.
Woo!
No, because during the Soviet era, cotton was a what?
I don't know. You said cotton mines. I didn't know if you spiked your own drink because I poured it.
Can you let him talk?
Um,
I'm listening, Mike.
So during the Soviet era, cotton was a very profitable thing. So Russia started turning wide swaths of land.
Swath.
Swaths.
I've never heard that term before.
Swath.
Because you don't hang around
Swat.
smart people.
God bless you. Continue.
of land into cotton fields to the point to where they instigated an irrigation plan that drained one of their lakes that used to be a very high value place and turned it into a giant desert that is ever growing. And also, by the way, they had a chemical and biological warfare facility in the middle of that lake. And so now there's all this radiological and chemical and bubonic plague shit being spread around the area because it all got out now.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
It was
God.
one time. It was in
You-
Russia.
I
We
can't-
messed up.
I
Our
can't
alien
remember the name of
overlords.
this lake, but it's like places where there used to be fishing towns. They're just, people are slowly dying because they have no way to escape and there's no fishing anymore.
Our
Sounds
alien
like-
overlord is gonna
Sounds
hate
like
us.
Medina
But
Lake.
yeah, no, they've got
Yeah.
massive,
That's like Medina Lake.
they've got massive cotton.
God.
Well, in the next couple of years, we'll see how empty Medina Lake is. And
Yeah, they're draining that thing so fast, man. But you know, it was originally made for irrigation.
it was,
Medina
but I mean,
Lake was made for irrigation. A
Yeah,
lot of
there's
the
actually
lakes were-
not that many natural lakes.
No, there's not. There's Canyon Lake was another irrigation.
but that one's holding up a little better than Medina.
I don't have an answer as why.
I can tell you why.
I know
Just
Medina
because
drowning.
you have too many people pulling from the same body. of
Actually, we covered this on a podcast that I recently edited and released.
water. Wow, you know, if you'd watch our podcast,
And it's because for the dam for Medina Lake, back in the day, they were doing repairs, or they were doing maintenance and repairs on the gates, and the company that was hired to do it fucked up those repairs.
But it's the same ones that made the levees around New Orleans.
I have no idea, bro.
Probably so.
Yeah, probably the same.
that one's just a hole.
And as a result, we don't have proper control.
Flow.
It makes it's all about flow control, Nick. Remember that.
Words to
I
live
mean,
by.
you should definitely know that flow control, especially with
17.
Fiddle
kids.
in that hose.
Did your vasectomy hurt? I'm sorry to switch gears for a second. We were talking about vasectomy.
Actually, it did not. So,
did he
not?
do that?
Did you get it done in Tennessee?
no, I got done in Illinois. I was stationed there at the time.
Oh, so it was a military circumcision.
Thankfully,
See-
I'm sorry. Thankfully not.
You are a smart man for getting it because we've got a friend who we just had on our last podcast.
Hey.
Hey,
Rich
17 kid. I'm kidding. It wasn't 17.
No, but he's got 2 kids. His girlfriend has 3 kids.
The Brady.
And I keep giving him shit, and until he actually gets the snip, I'm
The
going to give him
snippity-doo-dah.
shit
I'm getting mine next
that
month.
he's going to be 45 years old and have another kid.
I'm getting mine after my second kid.
Yeah, we
There you
can't.
go.
I can't do it.
I'm having 2 kids. That's it. Because then I can sell a sport car.
That's what I said.
I am
Oh no,
apparently
I am getting 2, and then bye Balzo. It's gonna be Christmas decorations. They're gonna hang there and do nothing.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it?
Yeah, it's
Good
cheaper.
for you, man.
No, I mean I'm cutting his off.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Good for you, man.
that sounds painful.
No, it's okay. We got a lot of whiskey, and bourbon, and scotch, and gin. It'll be fun.
Not necessarily in that order.
It was an outpatient thing for you, right?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Wait, okay, so I am medically illiterate. What the fuck is outpatient?
So,
In-out
People
procedure.
say this.
In-out procedure same day.
well, Nick, please explain.
All right. So
Jason,
listen.
can you explain this to me?
Timmy.
So
Carl?
first responder, right? I don't know all the hospital terms. I know all the street terms.
Slang. I love it.
But basically, to my understanding, is that when they cannot handle what you got in the moment, they send you somewhere else. To me, that's outpatient.
That's
a
okay.
really
I might be
shitty
wrong.
explanation. I don't understand that at all.
That's way better than what I thought, because until now I just heard outpatient and I was like, that's something medical, and then I moved on about my business.
Yeah, I think it's something that can be done without like a sterile like operating room.
That does not make me feel
That
good
doesn't
about
that
this.
doesn't sound good. So are you sure you don't want me to do it? I can
I mean,
sterilize
if it's not
my knife.
sterile,
I can
it'd
sterilize
probably
my
be
knife.
more sterile than what they're using,
Yeah.
especially here in town.
I will say, serious note for everybody who's listening. My doctor hooked me up. He took more than was required, just to make sure, because like when you get a vasectomy, there's
He
a
tied
chance
your
stuff
tube.
can.
He touched your tubes.
Yeah, he tied my tubes. So he took more tube than was required. He's minimally able to. So basically, because there's like it's less than a 1% chance that can like regrow back.
That's crazy, right?
Nature
the
does
body will
nine.
do that.
Yeah,
That's
nature does nature.
insane.
Watch, I'm gonna have fucking 3 of these
Well,
bitches.
if we
man.
can regrow nerves, I'm not shocked.
Yeah,
This is-
it's kind of like that. So he took more than was required because I told him like I don't want any more. I had 4 kids by this point, so I was like I don't want any more. This is it.
Do you
This-
have any erectile problems?
Not related to the vasectomy.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
that's good.
Is your semen clear?
It's not clear. So they told
Yeah.
me it was like a 3% like viscosity kind of thing.
Have you gotten your test checked, like testosterone levels checked? That's a big thing with it.
They don't require that for this test. Like they do check after how many weeks? It's a couple weeks. But they check to make sure everything is like copacetic and clear and like
Yeah.
0 count.
Do you feel more in touch with your feminine side now?
Nothing more than usual.
Okay,
No,
good.
Yeah. I was Air Force, right? So
If you were a firefighter, you weren't even military.
it kind of balanced out a
You
little
guys
bit,
get
right?
deployed as firefighters? And
Yeah, they get
Yeah.
They
deployed.
get deployed.
they do.
to Kuwait.
He was just a
Not
deployed
just Kuwait.
civilian servant.
They're not like actually.
I'm only
fighting
giving shit
anything.
because
I mean, they're.
Right. They're
They're
trained
when we were
soldiers.
pulling out-
Yeah, they're trained soldiers.
I'll let them.
Oh, thanks.
No,
we're
continue.
done now.
No, we're done.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were
Well,
talking
no, I
first,
have
but
one
we're
more
done.
question. So were you actually deployed?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. So what
Yeah,
did,
last year.
what did you do? No, like I'm not trying to be funny. I really asked.
So the unofficial motto: "Hurry up and wait." It's kind of just that, you know.
He sat there, made sure fires didn't happen. Realistically, where he's at.
Realistically, yeah.
You guys had your own fire trucks over there and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they were okay for the condition that they were in.
They were trucks set up for fires. I
And
don't
we-
think
and we
anyone
did,
would
yeah.
call them fire trucks, but they
They
are
were fire
fire
trucks. They were fire trucks.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
were okay.
Continue.
So I have a different perspective on Air Force firefighters,
I don't have
Okay.
any, so go ahead.
because when we pulled out of, I've talked about it before, but when we were pulling out of Iraq, my
Afghanistan.
unit set up shop in Kuwait to do oversight intel missions, right?
Yep.
And we were on the Air Force side of Ali Salim. And
I'm gonna guess that was the nice side, right?
on the Air Force, on the Air Force side of Ali Salim, outside of the firefighter place, the firehouse for the Air Force,
I'm listening.
there was a gazebo, and under this gazebo was a koi pond.
Trex.
So I have a completely different perspective on Air Force firefighters.
So when it
Very
comes to yeah, so every branch goes to the same place for the fire academy. It's a joint base academy, but
They're all
typically
fire dogs.
Huh?
They're all fire dogs.
they're all
feed
fire
on
dogs.
hydrants.
Yeah. Typically, when it's like especially a joint base kind of situation, Air Force typically runs it just because, let's be honest, it's kind of the corporation side of it. You know, we
It's
have
nicer in money, realistically.
nicer in money, but there's better logistics. Not to hate on any other branches. you
No,
know,
you're not.
but
You're just telling the truth.
Shittier technology.
We're all fire dogs, but we have like different pockets of money. Honestly, when it
Or-
comes down to it.
Worse IT.
Like,
But
so every branch has their own fire unit, firefighter.
yeah, like Army, for example. You know, there's not a whole lot of Army fire dogs, but they do exist. They
And they only have enough funding
Is that
for
the
blankets.
That's because we
Yeah.
have
Fire
fire
dogs.
extinguishers. We don't
It's-
need firefighters,
Yeah, like
but
It's
we
your
have fire
unofficial,
extinguishers.
just like cops are at the time, SECFO. But SECFO is also used for.
And realistically, if it burns down, that's an excuse for us to finally
building new
rebuild something other than continuing to use that condemned building that we've been using since the 1940s.
with the lead paint.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean,
the asbestos.
In asbestos.
asbestos is like kind of a buzzword. But like where I was deployed to, it was supposed to be a temporary base. And it was used for 30 years.
30 years.
So
That's temporary. What are you talking about? That's temporary.
That is temporary.
We got about 10 more years before. Yeah, we're done with this.
every rotation was like 10 more years, 10 more years, 10 more years.
Funding.
That's so bad.
Yeah. Well,
America.
But at the end of the day,
America.
the job was done. It wasn't like glamorous or anything, but you know, it was effective for what it was.
how long are your sheriffs and all your lead dogs in for? Like, do they have like a term limit? Or
No,
do they just slowly fuck things up and everybody hates cops?
no. DPS actually doesn't even have an age limit to apply, so you can
Just
be
like
like
Congress.
in the 50s and 60s and still apply to be a cop. If you're physically fit and you're mental fit, yeah, you can
You
apply.
got some racist people coming in now, 80s, 90s.
Yeah, sorry about that.
My kids.
Back
ain't-
in my day,
Jeez.
bathrooms were
As long as they can
segregated.
pass your quals, huh?
Yeah,
Jeez.
quals and background tests and
And psycho test.
everything like that. Yeah, psych tests. We actually have a lot of military guys that have gotten out. They'll go through their full military retirement after 20 years, and these guys will be like in their, I don't know, late 40s, 50s, somewhere
yeah.
around there. And they want to be cops. We have a lot of retired Marine, Army, Navy.
I mean, if they're fucking 11 bang bangs, then
It makes sense.
there's not a lot. What are they gonna do? Be a security guard somewhere?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
not.
And they already have the baseline of discipline set up.
Yeah, so it's not that hard to transfer over.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It really isn't.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you, my child. For you have sinned.
Go forth and sin no more. All Father has spoken.
I think that when it comes to age requirements, like where's the military like lying?
39.
39 is the cutoff.
No,
They changed it?
I think
They
it's
did.
42.
42
Wow.
now.
Yeah.
For any brand, it's across the board.
I know it used to be 39.
Yeah, I know because I had a 39-year-old in my basic training,
Yeah.
and he was the PT stud,
We called him Grandpa. And
And-
dude was hauling ass.
fucking blowing me out of the water every
It's funny
time.
you say that. In my academy class, we had a guy that was probably pushing late 40s, almost 50s. I think he was probably like 51, and he could run for miles. It was back when the Cooper's test was like the main thing.
What's the Cooper's test?
The Cooper's test was the basic mile and a half push-ups, sit-ups, and set amount of time based on age and height, everything like that. Now, a lot of agencies shy away from that, and we actually do what's called like the road test. We do like a 2,000-meter row or a 500-meter row. That's how that.
How often are y'all rowing?
I'm
I'm sorry.
Right there.
I'm sorry.
It was like, stop resisting!
It is where
Okay, but before we keep going, we need to hit intermission.
Okay, and we're back.
You poo brought the cake up on. Ring ding ding.
Pearl, come here. Come here. I need left though.
See, now I could be confused why the dog changed.
Yeah, dog changed. Instead, my dog's up, his dog's up. So Saudi Arabia is pushing in 12-year contracts for Olympics.
The E-Olympics.
They're sponsoring huge with Lucid Motors too.
Well, you know what? Lucid needs to push more out there because Rivian and Tesla.
Did
Who's-
you look
who's
at
Lucid?
Have you-
Lucid's
oh,
another,
dude.
a nice car
Bro,
company.
Really?
they make
Electric
some
cars,
badass
but-
cars.
they are your luxury.
They're like the Rolls Royce.
Well, you
of
lost me
cars.
at electric cars.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
I like if you said diesel cars.
But Polestar actually, diesel cars. Ooh, I still want a Volkswagen diesel.
I'm so sad that like diesel cars didn't gain in popularity in America like
Jetta
they
did
did
for a
everywhere
while.
else.
Jennifer.
Are they even making
Not like
those
Europe,
anymore?
though.
Do they make Jettas? Yeah.
No, diesel cars.
In America, probably not, because
no,
emissions.
I want to say they're all
chaos.
like overseas.
Not to say you can't bring one over.
Because everyone in America hates diesel. Fuck
Mm.
you guys.
Yeah, razzle dazzle. I want a razzle dazzle car.
America.
Merita.
Dude, you could get a razzle dazzle car whenever you want. You just have to give up your.
I'm not giving up my little electric toaster.
Paid off.
Almost.
No, he's never going to pay off a car.
I think.
I guarantee you, he will replace this vehicle before he fucking replaces.
I thought you were getting a
before you-
Cybertruck.
I still want a Cybertruck once they fix all their shit.
I haven't seen a Cybertruck since they came out, and I've seen 5 like in the
Here
last.
in town.
Okay, that's what I was gonna
in
say.
Tennessee too, Podunk, Tennessee. I've seen Cybertruck twice.
There are a lot. There's been a lot, man.
Around here,
Yeah,
I see them all the
They're
time.
the dime a dozen, like buttercrest bread, baby. You'll see 'em
It's
everywhere.
finally spread now. Like I've seen it in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you'll see them. I think they're kind of overrated, but I mean the wow factor's there. Definitely.
It's definitely got
I
the wow
like the
factor.
lace-
Eddie,
Laziness.
can I get a Chico, please?
Which one do you want? Strawberry?
Any one that you reach in there and grab.
Not that one though.
Thank you.
It's mango.
I'm sure it
Probably.
deserves
I
somewhere.
like the. I
You don't
like
have poison
mango.
ivy, right?
cherry ones.
You don't have poison ivy? Because
What?
then you can't have mango.
It's a whole
Does
thing.
he have food allergies?
What?
Or what?
If
What?
you have poison ivy, you can't have mangoes.
Does
If
he-
you're allergic to poison ivy,
No, if you have
everyone's
poison ivy.
allergic to poison.
No, false.
I believe many
Everyone
people
is
are allergic.
irritated. That's an absolute. Can you for certain
no,
say
there's a difference between, and I can say this because I used to be allergic to poison ivy. I'm not anymore. There is a very real difference between being allergic to it and just getting irritated by it, because one of those ends up with poison ivy in your asshole, and the other one doesn't.
The
By
worst place.
by show of hands?
I paused. 'cause
Stop resisting.
I was thinking about. I was thinking about how poison
Them's
ivy
your
got
hands.
in your
Put hands
asshole.
on the wall. This is
How
you
many?
get it.
By show of hands here, who all has ever touched poison ivy?
Obviously,
Really?
Yeah,
I have
you
never.
haven't
I've
touched it.
never fucking touched.
I
poison
used to
ivy.
get
You
into
want me to
poison
grab
ivy all the
something?
time.
No,
touch
I
it.
don't know why you
I
touched
used to.
You can pull your pants down. You can stand up against the wall.
Guys, so poison ivy in the ass does in fact suck.
It used to. I need you to get your mic 3 to 6 inches from your face.
Perfect. That works actually.
But I mean, it used to drive my mom nuts because I'd go to my dad's for the weekend and I'd come back and I'd be covered in poison ivy. And I was allergic. Now I know I'm not anymore because when I was in the army, I fucking straight up low crawled through
Through
poison ivy, and fucking nothing happened.
I don't want to, Sergeant. Sergeant.
Sorry, I
I
don't want
don't
to.
want to. You better crawl through that,
Yeah,
boy.
crawl through that fucking shit. Realistically, I didn't realize I was crawling through
Until
poison ivy
done.
until
Yeah,
I was
until it's
already
too
crawling
late.
through it, and I'm like,
yeah, it sucks.
well, I guess we're gonna
Well,
find
it's either
out.
then or you're done with the exercise and you're like
Good gosh.
Covered.
covered.
Yeah,
you're like, mm.
I imagine they would have issued an allergy if you were supposed to have it.
Yeah, I
Well,
can't-
What are you
I
talking
probably-
about? Ibuprofen?
I probably would have gotten
Don't forget
Article
the water.
15 for
Destruction of
destruction of government property. We had a female get that for a sunburn.
Yep. We've had it
Same,
with
actually,
sunburn.
yes. Same here.
Like 3rd degree sunburn. They fell asleep on a inner tube going down the river.
What's an article?
See ours?
15?
It's disciplinary action.
Why
It
would
could-
why would you get disciplinary action for a sunburn?
because again,
You didn't take preventative
destruction
measures.
of government property.
Because you
They-
belong to the government.
They got so damaged that they couldn't do their job.
Damn.
It's pretty comically horrible the way the government works. It really is. It's like, you messed yourself up so bad. So not only do you have to deal with this, but now you got to show up in blues or your dress uniform to the disciplinary action for why you messed up. And then, you know what? Fine. Since you can't come to work, go back home.
And
And,
they're
you'll have
probably
additional duties.
and they're probably gonna do a 45-45.
Like a 45-day off or what?
No, 45 days of additional duties,
Mhm.
45 days of reduced pay.
Do more with less.
They could reduce your pay like that?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
They
Talk
can
about-
take your pay.
You can work for free for your whole term, technically. Because they've given you, and I quote, 1 million in change in training.
You sign your body away to the government, like straight up and down, 1,000%. You sign your body away. You might not sign your soul away because you're giving your soul to Jesus.
Amen.
But, I mean, yeah, past that, it's like,
Oh, your ass is theirs.
you're
Yes.
over here, you're like, I can't sleep well, doc. That's fine. Put on this Darth Vader mask and you'll sound
and
great.
they like to
really
talk
did
about
give you all
how-
those shots and pills that you didn't know what they were for. They just
I
My medical record, I have shot A, B, and C, pill D, Z, and 12.
I've got shots that some
In
of my
3
buddies
different
didn't
languages.
take because we were part of different control groups.
I have no idea what.
I don't know what it was. I need to look them up sometime to see if I'm covered.
I mean, they're just experiments. It's like,
Maybe it's covered by disability. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if one was like illegal substances.
Good gosh.
Like, you never know.
Well, there's a reason that we all got the anthrax shots, and then they discontinued that because they found out that that was bad for you.
Well, I mean, that was the same thing that happened with the other ones that came out recently during eating bats and all that.
The ones with feline AIDS.
Eating bats.
Yeah, you know,
Eating bat.
the Chinese bat virus.
Can we not say that anymore? Can we still not say that?
I don't think we can say the Chinese bat virus.
Yeah, I don't think we can say the actual name still. I think it's considered disinformation.
But
or
what's
something.
very interesting about that virus is it was tracked years before on like Clorox bottles and everything else.
weird.
People
Weird.
knew about it many months before.
Well, it's been around for
Well, the
decades.
strain
Yeah.
was way stronger and potentially grown in a lab in Wuhan,
maybe.
funded by
I
the
laughed
United
at a
States
guy
and
one.
China.
I laughed at a guy one time because I was on a call and the guy started talking about it, and it was a domestic disturbance, and when the father-in-law showed up, started talking about that virus that we're talking about right now, and he said, "Yeah, you guys need to start, getting food and like the normal stuff that everyone does now for the
Food,
most
water,
part."
toilet paper. We
And
ran
I
out of
laughed and I was
toilet
like,
paper.
"Yeah, bro, I think we'll be okay." Look at us now.
Look at us now. Now I have so much toilet paper, I don't know what to do with.
My ass
The
is
thing-
so clean.
The
I
thing
also have a
is,
bidet.
it kind of
Bidet
was.
is
I
life.
hate to say this, but it kind of was good for me because I was so afraid to become a COVID alcoholic that instead I started getting in shape and I cut down my drinking so wildly. You can't tell here, but this is really the place where I do my drinking.
Really?
Yeah, for the most part.
Like I went from
minus
drinking.
this week for me.
I went from drinking, like 4 times a week to drinking like once a week.
Well, you know, they say you come out a chunk, a hunk, or a monk during COVID.
Yeah.
A chunk, a hunk, or a monk?
That's
I
right.
got bored. I started doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I got busy. I was still working. I worked all through COVID.
I worked
too.
all through.
I had to come in for a week and I had to take a week off. And by the way, I would rather have just come in all the time because
I came in all the time.
that was the worst schedule in the world.
The thing that sucked the most, so I got the new job, leaving where we were working together.
Yeah.
And for a month and a half, because I tested positive, I was perfectly fine. I built a 15-foot wide diameter fire pit
Yeah, because you had nothing to do.
because I had nothing to do for a month and a half because I kept testing positive.
Do you
It's
need
like-
caffeine, bro?
Yeah. Bro,
I got Red Bulls in the fridge.
I'll probably have a Red Bull here.
Yeah, go grab one whenever.
Yeah, we got
No time like the present.
no time like the present.
No time like the present. Hell yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, brother.
brother. Phone starts that motorcycle, brother.
That's
Real quick, are we taking intermission here?
No, I mean we're talking.
no. I mean, we're actually talking.
Okay.
Do you need to take an intermission?
No, I'm
or
good.
something?
I'm good.
Okay. No,
I
I mean,
actually wanted.
It's just this person's like a
that's
little
fine,
less
he has his
vocal.
own camera. He
Oh
has
man.
this thing, which is a Toby cast now, completely Toby.
She's such a fucking pretty dog. She really is.
She looks great on camera. That
Wow.
might just be the thumbnail.
Just ridiculously photogenic.
I know.
Fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it shy.
Craziest firefighter story that you've ever, like any call you've, the number one. Because I know you have a couple, but like you're
The number
Most
one that
My
you
number.
that you can talk about on a camera.
Okay, being vague, the number one, but hands down, was there was this couple in bed. They woke up to a naked man standing over top of them, right? And the hold on, it gets better.
Whoa.
why am I called
could
the
get better.
firefighters?
It could get better.
It's because it involved injuries and stuff. It's
Okay.
boring.
It's boring.
It's boring.
It's boring.
Yes.
I'm
For
sorry.
for the
I
fire side. For the
also
fire
look
side.
up
You
in the
started
middle of
up
the night.
with Florida man standing over you.
It's basically Florida man. So basically, yeah, they woke up. This naked man was staying over them. Tried to attempt stuff on the wife.
Thanks, brother.
The husband persuaded him downstairs and outside. This is up in Alaska, middle of winter. This guy is butt ass naked in the middle of like all the snow and stuff. We eventually find out he's hopped up on LSD. So they deploy basically one of the tasers. Only one prong gets him, and he's like, "Oh, it kind of tickles a little bit." No effect. Yeah, basically. They deploy second taser. Both hit him this time. Almost goes down, but not quite. And my neighbor, who happened to be one of the security forces guy responding there, he eventually gets the guy on the ground, and he's just like, this look goes over him, like you have this kind of whole emotional state, and then just stone cold blank, like, I'm gonna fight you. And then he gets up, and he sends his dog up to go in like the one bite of their career, really the one good one, because dogs in their relatively short spans, goes and jumps and goes to bite this guy, and the guy takes a whole kind of like left face kind of thing, and the dog's already midair. Dog misses, and then they eventually get a third taser on the guy, and he goes down. They do the whole thing, but basically then it being this whole
Taser.
yeah that's what it was.
Keeper, can you get a picture of me and Pearl and Patrick?
Yeah, man. Smile, Carl. That works. We got some photos there.
Good photo, Fred.
Good. It's Jason, actually.
Just change the name every time.
Is it Jason here? I don't know.
It'd be Tayson.
Jason?
Tejas.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's it for your story.
That's it. That's it.
How about you, Eddie?
Craziest story.
Craziest
ever.
story that you can talk about on camera.
It's class bar.
No, I've got that.
Craziest story. Talk about it on camera that doesn't involve
Anything illegal
anything
for you?
legal or suicide.
I mean, Cabo is laying
Yeah,
right there.
your
I
camera.
can see that.
Well, now it does, sure.
No, you can keep talking, Eddie.
It was probably one of the shootings that we had on the interstate. I can talk about it because the case is closed and the guy's already in jail and it's done now. We got a shooting over here on the interstate. The guy was chasing somebody around the parking lot with a shotgun, and we responded to the area. A police chase happened, and I was the fourth or fifth car in back. So when he stopped because his vehicle was inoperable, he got out and started shooting. And I remember, leapfrogging, leaping and bounding from from each point of cover up to him, and he finally went down. And when everything got said and done, he ended up surviving, and we had to do like security watch over him while he was in the hospital, right? Which is pretty common. And we're there, and I'm doing the security watch, and the whole time that I'm standing outside of his room, I have my Bible with me, and I'm reading it, and I was having a hard time because, you have a lot of anger towards someone that tries to kill you. It's a very weird, surreal feeling that I couldn't describe until that incident. But so I'm watching this guy, and he's in the room, and I'm outside of his room because I don't want to go in there. And I know myself well enough to know that I wasn't going to hurt him, but I know myself well enough to know that if he was going to do something stupid, I was probably going to hurt him.
Yeah.
And he was a lot bigger physically than I was. And my last day of detail, the nurse yells for me to go in there, and I'm thinking, okay, here it is, here's the day. And
So you went in there and you shot his dog.
no,
ATF. We talked about this.
There was no dogs allowed. And so we're there, The nurse calls me in, and it turns out he just needed help because he fell. So I did what I could.
And I can't get back.
Pretty much, man. And I got him to his bed, and when I went to leave, he saw my Bible, because when I had walked in, I put my Bible on one of his nightstands. He looks at it and he says, "Oh, the good book, huh?" And I'm like, "Yep." And I just walk away, and he says something to the effect of, I used to be a godly man, and I ignored it. I kept walking, and then I couldn't walk anymore. And I physically, for me, I've been a Christian for 17 years, and I have a relationship with the Father. I physically couldn't walk. I physically couldn't talk. I remember just looking up and saying audibly, like, I'm not gonna fucking say what I know you want me to say to him right now. But I couldn't.
Why did you want to deny that?
What do you mean?
Why did you not want to say?
No, that's what I was saying to God.
Yeah.
Because he physically stopped me because I didn't want to. So
Yeah, why did you
didn't
not
you?
want?
So
Why did you not want to? Why did you want to deny his design?
what do you mean?
God's design. Why do you want to deny?
No,
it?
so let me finish so I can finish the culmination. So I stopped. I couldn't move. I turned around and I said, "Mr. So-and-so, do you mind if I pray with you?" And he looks at me and he starts crying and he says, "Of course." And so I pray with him, and he ends up, accepting Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior then and there. And I'm like, "You have a good day now." And I walk away, and as I walk away, I get stopped again, and I look up and I'm like, "Okay." And I turn around and I said, "Mr. So-and-so, I forgive you. I forgive you for trying to kill me and my friends. I said, I can't speak for them, but I can speak for me, and I forgive you." And he just broke. He lost it. And I said, "Now you have a good day." Turned around and I walked away. And I didn't get stopped that time. But I think for me, that was one of the most surrealist experiences I've had as a cop. That one.
Yeah.
Aside from the shooting, but also the physical manifestation of, the Holy Spirit. That is.
I had a paper cut before. Crazy story.
Have you ever gotten one in between your fingers?
That
Yeah,
suck.
paper cuts suck.
Which begs the question: how is it that heroin addicts are able to inject between their toes? Because
Dude, where there's a will, there's a way,
paper
man.
cut between your fingers sucks, but okay, now I'm gonna inject heroin between my toes. I mean, bro, I don't know.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Booger sugar hits you.
By the
hard.
way, I did have to explain this week to an airman that there was, in fact, a difference between cocaine and crack, and
Oh,
what that
yeah.
difference was.
Big difference.
To an airman, I'm sure that's no surprise.
But yeah, I mean, it amazes me sometimes
they're the same thing.
the naivety and just the lack of knowledge that they have
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, we don't have Dare anymore, do we?
No, we do not have.
No, we don't have Dare. Well, that's not true. Dare does exist, I think, in Chicago,
Oh, sure.
but not like when we were kids, right? Wait.
This is how you make drugs, kid.
Was Dare around when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
I'm the youngest.
Dare would
Yeah.
always
Well,
come by with
He's
cheerleaders.
1 year my senior.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dare was around.
Yeah. Dare.
I totally miss them coming by, pulling out a spoon, showing us how to.
Never had that.
No, seriously, they showed us how to make drugs, and it was like, ooh, should I take note? Should I not? Like, they seriously explained all these things to us here in South Texas, and I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah, they did do that, but I mean, we did have some guys come by and show us cool basketball tricks. So, that was cool.
The drunk goggles were cool.
I think I
The drunk goggles were cool. Or, you
Which,
know,
by the way, the drunk goggles have nothing to do with being drunk.
that's true.
It's more of a scare tactic, really.
What are drunk goggles?
You've never had drunk goggles.
So drunk goggles, they're essentially just glasses that are supposed to make you.
They're like kaleidoscope
Yeah,
glasses.
they're supposed
without
to make
the
you feel
colors.
like in like respond to the environment like you're drunk
Disorient
because they're
your
supposed to
equilibrium?
impair your
Impair your vision.
Impair.
Impure.
Impure. They're supposed to imperial your system, impair your system in such a way to where you feel like you're drunk. But having been drunk multiple
Yeah, it's not the
times in
same.
my life, I can tell you they have
It-
nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with it. Normally, I'm
And
either
what's funny is that by the time I wore the drunk goggles, I had already been drunk. I hope my parents don't watch this, so I have to have this explanation with them. They had to have known that I had already been drunk.
I'm sure they knew.
They don't watch this.
Your mom's pretty smart though.
My mom found out how much we cuss and talk about inappropriate shit
And
on
said
this,
no.
and she was like, maybe I shouldn't watch your podcast.
I mean, then don't. It's not for everyone.
Mike, what's the story with that ring?
Which ring?
This ring right here.
Ooh.
It's an eye catcher, man.
So
Sit down here, boy.
I think about 10 years ago now,
There you go.
my grandpa died. And I was in the army at that time, and I got the call that my grandfather was dying, and my parents drove up to Killeen, and they picked me up, and then we hauled ass to Lincoln, Nebraska. And we get into Lincoln, Nebraska, and my grandfather is still alive, and that night he passed. It was almost like he was holding on for it. And so one of those days following, like I don't remember, because we're taking care of my granny and we're trying to help her,
Granny.
get everything fixed up and everything. And she hands me this ring and she says, "Your grandpa wanted you to have it." Now I need you to keep this in mind. This was not my biological grandfather. This was my mom's stepdad. My mother's stepdad considered her true child.
Wow.
And he had biological grandchildren, but he considered me his true grandchild.
Why do you think that is?
They're just relationships. His kids treated him like shit. His grandkids treated him like shit. Like, it was just there was a difference of relation, right? Make no mistake, my stepdad is my dad. 1000%, and I'd go to
Real
bat for
estate
him
daddy.
anytime, any day of the week. Right? Like, if he called me up, he said, "Hey, I need you here in Hempstead, right now," I'd be like, "All right, give me 3.5 hours and I'll be there."
Do I have time to grab someone, or am I going alone?
Yeah, like, what are we doing? But, yeah, so that's where this ring came from, and it's been...
You just got it redone, did you not?
I got all the tines redone
May I see it?
because I lost a diamond. I've gotten it resized because it's broken multiple times. I've gotten all sorts of work done to it, but it's still the same ring and it still has most of the same diamond.
It's a very nice ring.
He pockets it.
Mine now.
You
My
got,
ring
you got a
now.
long walk to your
You're,
car,
you're
boy.
in my accounting now, boy.
Look, last I checked, this was private property.
But hey guys, I think that's a good spot for intermission.
That's intermission.
That's normally why I do a fucking a V in it. Makes it easier. I mean, once you become a real boy,
What are you doing?
we'll be able to teach you how to smoke a cigar.
How do you like Tennessee?
I actually love it.
Really? It's really nice?
I honestly though.
How's the weather in Tennessee?
So
It's like
the real
Oh,
question
fine.
is, if you like Alaska more, why aren't you in Alaska?
Yeah, why'd you buy a house in Tennessee?
Yeah. Nick, John.
Brad,
Jason.
Timmy.
Or Timmy,
Steve,
whatever.
Steven?
You still have confidence on it
Let me ask you, why did you like Alaska more than Tennessee?
We're outdoorsy.
I'm not
Do you
outdoorsy.
you're an outdoorsy
I
type of guy?
am convinced that I'm going to visit Alaska.
Never leave.
And I'm convinced that he's going to come with me to visit Alaska, and then it's gonna be like,
Bet.
I guess we have to move to Alaska now.
No, bummer. I guess we'll shoot a podcast up there and then be like, so you have this acreage and I have this acreage.
Nice area.
I'm not
we'll
opposed to it.
we'll just lay our own fiber
Just not a
because
fan.
I actually do know how to do that.
Heck yeah.
Not a fan of cold.
Oh, I love the cold.
I
love
I
it.
like the cold as long as I have the ability to keep myself warm.
Says the one who. My house is 87.
My house is 80.
That's keep your house.
That's disgusting.
Shut up. Are you
I'm
serious?
not joking.
He's actually doing what you're supposed to do. It should be 20 degrees less than the temperature outside.
That's where you keep your tent. Do you have fan? Like do
Yeah.
His house is actually pretty cool in comparison.
He has one fan. It's above his oven.
It's a little spritzer
But
one.
I mean, this is the man who sweats everywhere, and he's in my house, and he's like,
No, 76 isn't bad. 80 isn't bad.
yeah, it's like 78 degrees in there, and he's like, I'm actually fairly comfortable.
This is fine.
I like it
This
cold.
is fine as I'm sweating. I'm dying.
In comparison to the outside,
In comparison to outside, it's cooler. Now, here, it's like anywhere from 62 to
You guys keep it pretty cold.
73.
well, I mean, I literally had the conversation with my dad this week, and I was talking about keeping my temp high, and I was like, realistically, I'm fully expecting that I'm going to get married and not be able to do this anymore. He's like, I'm glad that you realize
I'm
that.
glad you realize that now.
How is the dating scene right now for you, Mike?
Is there a shotgun around here?
Well,
So,
no, I,
well,
said,
no,
I've
I mean,
never had
it's
this conversation
not
with
that,
I'm
it's-
not trying to.
It's
It's different.
well, the first off, the dating scene is different. Secondly, when I moved out to Bandera, out into the middle of nowhere, I was purchasing married person property without being a married person, right? Because like there's no dating scene out there.
Unless you want someone with like 2 teeth.
And I don't have the same
It's Tennessee's thing. Leave it alone.
there's a couple other things. I haven't had the drive because I've been very much enjoying like working on my land and doing this.
Doing
So I
what I
haven't been
want when
I
I
haven't
want.
been dedicating time to dating. And I also don't want to date the way that I used to date, because the way that I used to date was I
Take a
would go
number.
to the bar. Well, no, I would go to the bar, right? And then what would you discover down the road is what y'all had in common was the bar.
The bar. Yeah.
Like, I don't want that. So, the online dating scene is all sorts of fucked up, right? Because we've got low quality women who think that they deserve high quality
I can
men.
take your man at any time.
They think that they deserve men who have 6 figures,
High
who are
6 figures.
high 6
High
figures,
6 figures.
higher than me 6 figures. Like when I say 6 figures, I'm
We're in
talking
trouble,
like
Nick. We ain't there.
300,000.
We ain't there yet, man.
First responders dream of 6 figures.
Well, less than 5% of the American
It's any of the
populace
6 figures, really,
makes
man.
over
Any of the 6 figures.
500,000.
and
What
they,
they think.
and they need to be 6 feet tall,
6 plus.
6 plus, and that 6, by the way, keeps rising. It's like 6.
Oh yeah, the number keeps growing.
6'5", and
This
it's like
money, this type of house, this type of car.
they need to have a car, they need to have a home, they need to have this career, they need to have all these things, and then it comes down to, and a buddy of mine was showing me a podcaster, and I think this podcaster passed, but he would interview these women, and these women would have all these high expectations, and he would be like, what are you bringing to the table? And she'd be like, well, she had 3 kids, and she had, she was no longer very attractive because she was, well into like her
Looking like
her
Jabba the Hutt.
late 30s or 40s. She wasn't in shape. She wasn't, she's not bringing anything to the table, but she expects these, high unobtainable
These
men.
high echelon.
These men who are literally 0.01% of the population, and it's like, I don't know what you're doing. I really don't know what you're doing. So that's the dating scene, and I do blame dating apps because dating apps gave these women
Unrealistic standards.
they gave them a false impression of what the world is really like. Because they have all these men hitting them up because all these men want to hook up with them. But here's the real question.
How many are staying there?
How many of these men want to marry them? Right?
Or is it a
Because
smash and pass.
I don't just want to fuck around.
Just lay my
right?
seed everywhere.
Like, I do want to get married. I do want to be in a stable relationship. I do want, and I don't need someone who is financially functioning at my level. I don't need a businesswoman. I don't need a bad bitch. I don't need any of this shit, right? Like, I don't.
I love the terminology. That's funny.
I mean,
Right?
But that's
That's the truth.
But that's the bill of goods that's being sold nowadays, right? Is these young women are being told that you need to be successful in your career and fuck guys, and you need to be a bad bitch because that's what you need to be. But I don't want that.
I mean, you see in TV shows now, those bad bitches. It was like smash and
my
pass.
nose
It was like you can leave now. It was like it'll be the next morning. It was like the female to the male. You can leave now. So you're just a quick thing for me, just enough to get me my rocks off, and then I'm going back about my business. Like that's what we're advertising and showing right now.
But by the same token, what they're not showing is that woman is then sitting there in her 40s wondering why
Nobody loves me. Nobody wants to be with me.
Where all the good guys are at.
Yeah, where's all the good
where
guys?
all the good guys?
It's like,
We're
well,
all the guys with traditional values. And
40
it's like,
guys ago, you missed it.
But I mean, that's the other thing we've talked about is like, when your number and when your kill count is so high,
Got a football team.
and you're shocked when these guys don't have an interest in you. Why are you shocked?
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
So I mean, that's the world we're living in right now, and I don't know. It's just not. It's not great. It's not a great place to live.
So, to piggyback on that, how do you think the dating scene in modern America can be fixed? Or even if it can be fixed, like what do you... Because personally, I think I agree with you. I believe that social media in general has created a society of instant gratification. It's created a society of they'll see something on a screen, and I don't know the scientific terminology for it, but they see something on the screen and they want to look and be the best, so they apply filters to make them look and appear the best, and it's not real. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
we live in a society where
Everything's
what
fake.
we see on a screen isn't real all the time.
So, Keeper, do we want to do it? Do you want to make this king for an issue?
We could make that king for an issue. How do we fix the dating scene?
How do we fix America's dating scene?
Yeah.
And you
So,
brought it up.
You brought it up, so
can
go ahead and start.
I believe it goes back to what we spoke about a little bit during the break about where do you draw your morals from? What is your moral? What is a lot of people individual moral law? And I think America right now, in where it's at morally, what was seen 20 or 30 years ago as a lie is now viewed as the truth for the most part.
Are we talking about the nuclear family?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
figured that's where you go with it. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I really believe that the discrimination of the nuclear family, so to speak, moms and dads separated in different rooms, kids separated in different rooms, all glued to a screen, losing their sense of love for each other, lost in the world of technology, so to speak. Because obviously technology isn't evil, but it's how you use the technology, right? That is, I
It's
believe,
like any tool.
like any tool, how you use the tool, So I really think to go back to the dating focus of this conversation, I really think it really starts at the home. You know, it really starts at the level of mothers and fathers teaching their children how to love, how to talk, how to hold a conversation, and mothers instilling upon into their daughters the values of what it is to be a mother. You know, you spoke about it right now, Mike, about how you don't need a bad bitch. You don't need someone who, you know, makes six figures. I mean, that's obviously cool, like that's awesome and that's dandy, but it's not a requirement for you. You want someone that you can share life with and
Yeah.
enjoy that with,
Yeah.
right? And I believe you're going to find someone like that, and I believe that girl is going to be someone who was taught by her mother how to be a good wife, how to be a good mom, right? And stuff like that, man, stuff that's passed down like that from generation, that lineage from that mother teaching that little girl applies directly to the little boys that are being raised up right now, glued to a screen, not knowing how to be a man, right? And that, how does that fall into us as dads, for the three of us that are here that are dads, being present in our sons' lives and reminding ourselves, hey, the type of man that he's going to be is based on how I am raising him. The
Right.
type of man my daughter's going to look for as her husband is going to be the type of man that I'm being a representation to her right now. You know, so for me, having 78 and a half kids, I have my days where I look at my kids and I'm like, man, that's a little me. You know, she's looking at me as a man that she's gonna be looking for when she grows up.
I'm so sorry.
Dude, it's a lot, yeah, it's a lot. And I think the dating scene has a lot to do with the current state of the dating scene has a lot to do with the breakdown of the modern nuclear family, so
Yeah.
to speak, that a lot of us grew up with, you know, post World War II.
Well, I mean, but like realistically, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I didn't necessarily grow up with the nuclear family because my parents got divorced.
2 daddies and a mommy.
And I was purchased. Keeper, I guess you actually did grow up with a nuclear family.
I did grow up with a nuclear family.
Yeah.
Petrov, did you grow up with a nuclear family?
Yes,
yeah, I
Dasha.
did actually.
Eddie, did you?
What were you gonna say? Petra?
A quote I really like is really be the person that your dog thinks you are, really carries you far, because they see this unfiltered. I'm going somewhere with this. Hang on. So there's a whole lot of complexities that go on with the whole nuclear family thing. You know, it's everything from TV shows. It makes it seem like the kids are smarter than the parents versus the other way around. To where it's like dad's not really needed, as opposed to, honestly, for being real, you know, you need every component, mom, dad, and everything in the middle. It takes balance, all things, moderation, balance. You know, you can't do it one-sided.
I mean, there does seem, and I'm not, this is my piece necessarily, but there does seem to be a destruction of the image of the father figure in modern media, because the image of the father figure in modern media seems to be the bumbling dad.
I'm going to go a step further, and I'm going to say the discrimination of just masculinity in general. Men can't be men.
I
That's
would-
seeing
I would
a
push it
turnaround.
beyond that. It's men and women. If you are straight on either state
Yeah.
of it, if you are straight, we don't want you in it.
If you are a feminine woman acting feminine,
We don't want you in it.
if you're a masculine man asking masculine,
We don't want you in it.
and I
that's-
think this is all actually seeing a turnaround
I do
relatively
think-
recent.
I do
Relatively
think it's
recent.
being modified slowly. Yeah.
Kevin, what about you? How would you
Gorbachev.
how would you
You tell me, Sasha. What would you do?
Nobody got the
That
Mr.
one
Robot.
starts with an S. That's not even close.
No, Sasha.
That.
Anakin, how would you fix this?
Thank you.
one of us has killed Anakin.
He's dead now.
Do you have the high ground?
How did it
What the fuck is the question?
we have segue. Honestly,
How would you fix the dating scene in America as it currently is and the struggles? Because it's not just me; it's a lot of the younger generation. One of my coworkers, he says that his sons are struggling with a lot of the same thing. Right?
surprised me.
Honestly, I got married before the dating apps even really came about.
But
But that's kind of the theme now, is that everything's all online. It's quick.
I met
and
my
it's-
wife on a dating app.
I
Yeah,
think
and sometimes it works out for the best.
hold on, Petrov has it.
Go ahead, Petrov.
Come on, Kilgore.
So obviously, there's cases where it works out, you know. So I don't know if I really know enough to weigh in on the whole app thing. That's just kind of where we're at.
You
but-
know, you don't necessarily need to know, but you need to know that there is an issue.
What
with
were
the
you
dating
looking
scene.
for? A decent pizza maker?
I do like
Someone with a decent oven?
So you know, everybody looks for their own brand of weird, and you find that weird that matches yours. And honestly, I found mine. So you know, everybody out there who is looking for that, you know, if you try, it's kind of a balance, right? Like, so you have to be intentional, but you can't be too intentional. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
No, I know what you're saying.
No, I got it. I was
Yeah.
being a dick.
yeah, right. So
Ooh, daddy.
like, you have to find somebody who matches you. But that's kind of a hard thing to
Not if you use eHarmony. Anyway.
You don't have to be low.
future sponsor.
Listen, I'm gonna try farmers.com next. all
There you
right?
go.
Farmers only, actually.
Farmers
Don't fall for
only.com.
Don't fall for the knockoffs.
I too use 23andMe to find my
23andMe.
family. You'd make a great wife.
If anyone's having sex with my sister, it's gonna be me.
So Tristan doesn't have a real.
He's too far removed.
Yeah, he's too far removed.
Was it twice removed now? By today's standards?
No.
3
I have
times?
no idea.
Keeper, what do you think?
I use dating apps. I was very specific in what I was looking for. So, I mean, I do think they have a staple, a value, if you're honest in it. If you're honest
If
with
you're
the dating
honest.
apps. If you're honest with how and what you're looking for, I do think they have value there. But now, everyone's using all these filters, all these Snapchat filters or Instagram filters, so you look somewhere different. Like, oh, wow, she looks attractive. And then she comes to wherever you're going to eat or hang out, and you're like, I did not know
Or-
I was meeting freaking
Like you never
Jabba
did
the
a
Hutt.
woman you met on a ski slope.
Or they use a photo from 10 years ago.
Or they
Or-
use them in the photo, but they're in the background.
They use the filter.
Even AI. AI changes so much these days. You could change
Well, shoot,
anything.
you take a picture of your kid
So-
now and you post online.
But you're not really solving the problem.
I didn't have a problem with it.
You have no problem with the dating scene currently, not when you were dating. Currently dating.
I don't know. I'm not dating now.
How would
That's
you
a
fix the
great
problem,
answer.
Mike?
I can't fix something I'm not a part of.
You can. You can.
Fine, get rid of it. You know what? Let's do arranged marriages, arranged dating.
See, that's actually an answer.
My fear.
No, I'm serious. Because
And that works in a lot of
if
countries.
I had a vote on this, it was like, look, let me give you a list of like 30 people that meet this criteria in your age group. Boom, build your criteria list. Here you go. Here's a list of these people in the area, in the age group. Meet all these people. See who you like the best, and whoever both grades the highest between the two of you guys start arranged dating. And you know, it works for everyone else, but love is something that you have to daily decide to. I'm going to love my wife every day.
I got you.
Because hands out, there's some days it's like, fucking try me. I've had like 2 hours of sleep. I'm gonna Sudoku you, and we're gonna do numbers hard today.
Sometimes you want to get a
'Cause-
phone book.
Because I got like 20% power in this relationship right now. And she'll be like, okay, well, I'll pull your 30% and my 50%. So she's pulling 80% because I'm dragging ass. So, I mean, it's a decision.
Sounds horrible. God, I'm sorry.
What are you talking about? There's some days where VA gets me, disability, and I'm just done. I don't want anything. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Didn't sleep. I mean, for me personally, arranged marriages, arranged dating, I think would have a huge factor in fixing a lot of things.
So, I intentionally let all you go first for obvious reasons, right?
Because I have the answer.
Well, no, I don't necessarily have, but I think I have a piece.
Go ahead.
I think a piece of the answer is that everyone needs to stop looking for the perfect person.
No, agreed.
100%.
I agree.
And because how often are people, not just online, but in person, how often have you talked to someone and they're like, well, they had this red flag. And it's like, I mean, that wasn't really a red flag, or that was one small issue.
They put
or,
a cup on the side of the sink.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like, okay, well, yeah, okay. Obviously, they're fucked up. I'm not saying that you grab every fixer-upper that's out there, right? However,
Don't put your dick in crazy.
well, I mean, no. Even then, I disagree because,
Oh, I'm aware.
yeah, well, no. Seriously, though, is because what are we labeling as crazy? Because
My crazy
apparently
is different than your crazy.
everyone is fucking crazy.
Everyone's
if you
crazy
talk-
to an extent.
Yeah,
everyone has
everyone
their
is
own.
fucking crazy. But stop looking for perfection.
Yeah, 'cause there's
And
not.
realistically, and I think I actually read this, right? And
Oh.
but what it was is it's like
The West.
you're not you're not
Howdy.
looking for the perfect person.
Yeah.
You're looking for the
Or
person
you.
That you can deal with.
who you can accept
with
their
flaws.
flaws, and they can accept your flaw. Because this is a two-way street.
Yeah, it
You're
takes-
not the main character.
takes two to
You're not
tango.
leading this. You are a partnership.
Yeah.
You two complete each other.
And you're supposed to complete each other. And if you walk into this thinking that you are one person and you're not trying to become one existence,
A union.
then a union, then you are going about this the wrong way. Stop trying to look for the perfect person. Stop trying to look for someone who has giant tits and a huge ass and it has the perfect personality, or who is 6 feet tall and 6 feet.
With a
Stop
donkey
trying
dick.
to look for someone who fucking hits every check mark, and look for someone who hits a couple of the key ones,
And you can work on it.
and you
bro.
can work everything else out. Because guess what? You're
You're
not
not going to find it.
you're not gonna find it. You're not the 0.00001% who's going to find the 0.00001%.
Yeah.
How are you still single?
How are you still single, Mike? You're a cat. If I was
What's
gay,
your social media handle?
Oh, there we go. I said it. So I said all the time. I was like,
Shit, you
bro,
hit all
if I
the
was
nails on
gay-
the head.
I
Right
was
there.
gay.
If I was gay.
You've got it, man.
I'd let you to get by me a Coors.
Laziness.
I think I let you buy me
Absolutely.
a course too.
Absolute laziness.
Yeah,
Okay?
man. Laziness, procrastination, and
Yep.
kicks your ass.
Yep.
Man. To circle back to the first part of it, it's that laziness and that procrastination. Man, kicks
I've
you in
just
the ass.
been realistically. I moved out to the country, and he's seen it. He's seen.
Laziness is a bitch.
It
He's
is,
seen
man.
me just enjoy, and people keep asking me, they're like, "What's going on with your relationship life?" And I was like,
Eh.
"I've
I
just
don't have
been
time.
really. It's not even that I don't have time. I do have time.
No,
it's just
you
don't
have
wanna-
time. You don't want to
you
make
don't even wanna
time.
try.
I'm just sitting there going, and I'm really enjoying living in the country. And I do have a bachelor pad. I would not say that my bachelor pad is the standard
could
for
use a
what.
woman's
There's gonna be
touch.
some-
It could use a
you-
woman's
you know
touch,
what?
but it's not what a standard bachelor pad would necessarily be.
Oh, no.
You should bring him to Sophia's birthday party tomorrow. There's gonna be some single ladies there.
I'm
just saying.
They're all cops.
No, they're not all gonna be.
to those of
cops,
you
but
watching, there's still hope.
there's still
There's
still
no hope.
hope.
He's not taken.
But if you want to go, Mike, you're invited. I invite you.
Okay.
Don't worry.
What time is it?
All right. We'll catch you guys offline.
Hey, so this has been Name Pending.
It's his name pending. I'm Keeper.
I'm Mike Culberson.
Throw a comment down below. I'll respond.
I need you to fuck that like button.
And tickle that
subscribe.
Don't forget to support your first responders. Thanks, Eddie, for showing up. It's awesome.
Support your veterans. Support your local
fucking dog shelters as well, because man,
That's
been
not
an
a
issue.
lie, man. Dogs,
This-
like, we've been having some issues too with ours.
It's been some issues, not just here, but in California, on the East Coast, anywhere where we have high populations.
They'll kill them. They'll kill them instantly sometimes.
And thanks to my brother-in-law Sasha for coming down.
Thank you,
42
Sasha.
hours.
Thanks,
You're a
Sebastian.
good
Thanks
person.
for coming down.
Tim
Sasha. Yeah.
You have the best dating profile.